Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is time for Unit 2 to be kicked off, and we're going to take a look at what's happening this week in English 107. I've been enjoying meeting all of you through the introductory discussion board from last week, and I want to encourage you again to feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. My electronic door is always open. You have a couple of different options, of course, for getting in touch with me, including the Ask the Instructor discussion board, which is always available to you. And of course, email. If you have a private question for me, email is just as fast as any other way of reaching out because I do keep all my emails notifying me. So I do answer emails very quickly. Sometimes it may take a little bit if I'm not near a computer to get the answer to your question, but I am happy to help. I also want to remind you that this week is the first of 6 workshops that are conducted live over Microsoft Teams every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and they are conducted by me. So that's another option if you want to chat with me in live form. I'm available every Tuesday from 7 until usually close to 8. Sometimes it doesn't take the full hour, depending on how many people are there and how many questions people have. But that's also a good option if you want to actually chat with me live, not in person, but still live. So better than some of the alternatives. Essentially, in the workshop, we're going to do the exact same thing we're doing right now. So you guys have the benefit of having my video before the workshop actually occurs. So but again, if you want to attend and get some extra help, that is always a good possibility. So I'm going to open the course and we are going to go into Unit 2. So as you hopefully know by now, each week you want to do the work that is in Unit whatever it is. And it doesn't open until Monday of that week anyway. So you don't have access to it until first thing Monday morning. You want to get in as soon as you can so that you can get your readings and all that stuff done, watch all the videos, and then you have until the following Sunday night to complete whatever assignments we have. So last week you had the journal assignment was your only graded assignment in Unit 1, and you'll get grades back on that very quickly. It's only one assignment and the journals are very quick to grade. Normally, however, and this is good information, I want you to keep in mind that like this week, we'll have a discussion and a writing assignment. So in week 3, week 2's discussion will be graded by Wednesday for sure. And the writing assignment will be graded by Friday. That is the pattern all throughout the rest of the course. So do not email me on Monday morning asking me about whether I've graded your assignment that was due last night at midnight yet. Because no, I have not. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I grade very quickly. Sometimes, like especially on a Monday, I'll try to knock some stuff out. And sometimes I'll have time to do the the grading on Monday and Tuesday. Sometimes I won't. So at post, the rules that your instructors follow are by the following Wednesday. So it's due on Sunday night, but the following Wednesday, the discussion boards will be graded and you'll have feedback on them. And then by Friday, whatever other assignments there are will be graded. So in our case, it's usually either a journal or a writing assignment, sometimes both. So keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the term. The theme for this week is solutions, and we all love solutions, so this is good. We are touching on a very hot topic in higher ed right now, which is AI generated content. AI generating websites such as ChatGPT, some would argue, are making cheating too easy. So there's a lot of controversy around AI generated content. Now, for me, I look at it as sort of the same thing that I did in math when I was a kid, when we were forced to learn our multiplication tables. And then later we found out that these things called calculators exist. And we were like, why should I manually do all this math when there's a machine that will do it for me? So we don't know yet where the whole AI making written content is going to end up. It is certainly a tool that can help you get better as you write, as long as you keep in mind that you still need to be the one writing the material. So using a website such as ChatGPT or any of the other AI kind of generating tools, I do it. I use it to help me decide what order I want to put things in, to get me kind of a kickstart of like, what are some of the things that I could talk about? So there's responsible ways to use AI. There's also irresponsible ways to use AI. If you're just plugging in the assignment to AI and then just taking what AI generated for you and handing it over to your instructor, that is literally cheating. That is academic dishonesty. If you're using it to help you organize your thoughts, that's okay. And in fact, last week I posted about Grammarly. Grammarly does use AI. And so we actually advocate and help students use tools like Grammarly to help them with their grammar and punctuation and all those kinds of things. So the technology is too new. We don't all know how it's going to turn out, but we are going to be exploring it this week. And so this is a great week to be thinking about, how are you going to, as a student, make sure that you are still the one doing the thinking and not just relying on a computer to do the thinking for you. So anyway, long introduction, but that's kind of where we are this week. In the readings and resources folder, which is where you always want to start, you have several things to read, of course, as usual. You've got chapter 11 and 12 out of the academic writing textbook, and we use this book a lot in this class. These chapters specifically will help you learn about paragraphs. Now, when you are writing the sentence, multiple sentences join together to make a paragraph, and multiple paragraphs come together to make an essay, et cetera, et cetera. These are the building blocks for all kinds of writing, not just academic writing, but that's where we're, of course, focusing on. And so this week, you're going to be learning about paragraphs and what that means and how we can utilize that to organize our thoughts. We also have an opinion piece on plagiarism from the Chronicle of Higher Education, which is one of the biggest journals in academic, especially in higher ed, but in academic circles. And then you have a link to a resource that you're going to use throughout the course. Now, this template is also available over here on the left-hand side where you see APA 7th edition. So you'll be able to access this in multiple ways, in multiple places. I will also be providing you with sample documents that you can use, but essentially, we are going to be using APA style to format and document our research. And so this is the first week. You're going to be using that template to create your writing assignment. So that's there for you. Now, I will tell you this. If you do not have a full version of Microsoft Word on your computer, and for example, if you click on that link and it doesn't work for you, you may have to end up saving it and then opening it in Office 365, which you do have access to as a post-university student. It is important that you have access to a real word processing program like Microsoft Word. You can use Google Docs, and I can certainly help you if you need some help navigating how to do that. But I will also say that one of the great resources of all time is YouTube. And so there are plenty of tutorials on how to set things up in Word or Google Docs or whatever. So we'll take a look at the one we're using today, and if you need some extra help with it, that's certainly fine. I cannot stress enough, though, that if you are trying to do your formal writing assignments on your phone, you are probably going to really, really struggle to do so. I know a lot of people who come into the course and they're like, but I don't have a laptop. I only have a notebook, or I only have my phone. If you are taking online classes, you need to have access to a real computer with all the functionality of a computer. Now, I know that through Post, you can purchase a laptop. And of course, if you've not started that process yet, you won't have it tomorrow, like kind of thing. I'm a huge advocate for every public library in the whole wide world that has computers that people can use. So you can do a lot of things on your phone or a tablet, but when it comes to creating actual documents, you are going to need a computer this course and all your other courses. So whatever you need to do right now to start arranging that, get going with it. Because this week we are going to have a formal writing assignment. And if it's not submitted in a document form, then I'm going to ask you to do it again, because this is part of the assignment. So this template operates in Microsoft Word. You can save it. You can open it using the online 365 version of Word. You can also open a Word document inside Google Docs and use it there. There's tons of ways for you to get access to this, but you are going to need access to it. Okay. You also have some videos on plagiarism, quoting, and paraphrasing. So these are all provided by one of my personal favorite websites, Scribr.com. And we're actually going to utilize that a little bit later on when we look into citing the sources that we're locating. So those are your readings and resources. Make sure that you do that before you tackle any of the graded assignments. The Unit 2.1 and 2.2 interactive exercises are not graded, but they will walk you through some very important things. You always want to make sure that you do the interactive exercises. I can tell you for sure, for me, when I first started using computers, the only way for me to learn how to do something on a computer was to actually do it on the computer. So think of the interactive exercises as practice. So you can't fail it. You can't fail it. You can only succeed at it. The first one is going to focus on submitting assignments in Blackboard, which I'm also going to demonstrate for you, but this will help you with that. And then the second one is about plagiarism, of course, with different scenarios. So take the time to do both of those, and then you can tackle the graded assignments. So this week, there are 2 graded assignments. Last week, we only had the one journal, but this week you have both a discussion board and a written assignment. So let's go over the discussion board first, and then we'll talk about the writing assignment and do some demonstration. In your first discussion board, you introduced yourself. And as you know from last week, there were some questions to kind of help you get to where you want to go. And that's always going to be the case. So this week, you've got a paragraph that you're going to read, and it's the one in quotation marks below the questions. And then you're going to answer the questions. What do you consider some of the things the author did well? What are some areas that need improvement? And if you had to write a paragraph on the same topic, a goal that you want to achieve, would you submit the sample paragraph or something similar to your instructor? Why or why not? And then you have the sample to go by there. So this is, I don't know for sure whether it was ever a real student who wrote this, but this is something a student might write for a discussion on a goal that you want to achieve. So you're going to analyze their submission, and then you're also going to kind of provide what you would do instead. Now, this week, this is a graded assignment. So in addition to your own response, which should be a fully well-developed response, probably 6+ sentences, always think about that. It needs to be a full paragraph or more. You can write more than one paragraph if you want to, but needs to be fully developed. And then you are also responsible for responding to at least 2 of your peers each week. So did the author of the paragraph do a good job using the correct tone and thinking about their purpose and their audience? So meaning them, meaning your fellow students. So you'll write your own. You have to post your own before you can read what others have written. That's another little safety latch for you. And then you will respond to others. Okay. Those are all due by Sunday night. So my suggestion is to always post your own response by Wednesday or Thursday at the latest so that you have time to come back again and see what other people have written and respond to them. Okay. Then we get to the first official writing assignment. In this particular case, you're going to be finding a source about AI. Okay. So throughout this class, you will be examining different types of sources on a variety of subjects. Some of those sources will be from the post-university library. Other sources will be from the internet. In this assignment, you will find one source. Now, it can be a magazine article, a video, or a website about using AI generated content such as ChatGPT and evaluate it. So you are not evaluating ChatGPT. You need to find something that someone has written or produced a video about using AI generated writing content. Okay. Now, the complete instructions for these are always in the handout, and it's the PDF here. So you will want to read these very carefully. Honestly, if I were doing these assignments as a student, I would probably print this out so that I have it in written form and I can kind of check off and see what I do. All of these are set up the same way. They've got the overview, the instructions, the requirements, and then the grading rubric. It is important, and next week we're going to delve more into grading rubrics, but for right now, it is important to keep in mind that this is how your grade is figured on these writing assignments. So you can very clearly target the highest level of points, which is what you want to do, and make sure that you do all the things that are required of you. And then if you don't, then you may not get all those points. So for example, here's a super easy one. Length of the paragraph. If you do not have 6 or more sentences, you will not get full credit. It's that simple. If you give me a paragraph that's only 2 sentences long, you're going to get between 1 and 6 points. It's just the way it works. Okay. So keep in mind that these are here to help you target what you want to do, which of course is get the biggest score that you can. In using what we're going to go over the instructions. The other one we already talked about. Using what you have learned about research, find a magazine article, a video, or a website about using AI generated content. Write a paragraph, at least 6 sentences about the source. In your paragraph, address the following questions. So, why did you pick this source? What is the source about? This is where you're going to summarize it in your own words. And number 3, what makes that source that you picked a good source, particularly for people who are taking a class in the classroom? You also need to include a link for your source. You do not have to have a full API citation this week. You are going to be using them throughout the rest of the course though. So we are going to talk about that now and show you kind of where to find that information. You're going to submit this in APA format. So you should use the template or my sample, either one. And it needs to have at least 6 sentences. Okay. So let's take a look at where we would go to find sources. All right. So first order of business would be to think about using the post-university library, because honestly, getting used to using the library is something that people struggle with, but it is a really important thing to do. So we're going to go to post and we're going to log in. While we're on this page, I will show you. Now, I, of course, am faculty login, but you guys also have these quick links. This is where you would locate Office 365 if you need that. It's going to be right there. I think the library, trying to remember where they hid the library. There we go. No. Faculty community, where? Okay. Well, if all else fails, we go to, oh, there it is. No, I do have permission. Oh, I'm in student view. Okay. Let me, let me just go, let me just go back. There it is. Okay. So the link is always over here on the far left-hand side to the library. I'm already logged in. I think it may make me log in again, but this is also, by the way, while we're on this page, where you go to sign up for the Grammarly Plus accounts. So let's go. Yep. Okay. It is going to make me sign in, which is fine. Come on. There we go. Okay. I am going to use a search that is very specific. I instead of just putting in Chat GPT, I put in is ChatGPT cheating? Because that's really kind of what we're getting at here. There are 3,500 results, over 30, well, 3,400 results, and most of these are coming from peer-reviewed academic journals. So those are pretty advanced kind of writing. Any of these will work. They all deal with ChatGPT and all that fun stuff. I could just simplify this and put AI generated content. And then I get how many results? Oh, 765,000 results. Ah, now we have filters and we can say, okay, well, this is the kind of source I want. I know that I don't have time to read a book. So I also know that academic journals are going to be writing at a super high level. So I'm going to click the magazines button and hit apply. The other thing that you might want to do, and I think this one's already turned on. Yes, full text is automatically turned on, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do want to make sure that you can get full text because you don't want to just get, part of an article and then it says, hey, you know, give me more. Um, and we can read any of these. Okay. So scroll through, see what you think is interesting to you. And just pick one. Okay. So I'm gonna pick this first one, how not to get bamboozled by AI content on the web, because that one sounds pretty good. In order to view it, you just click the link. And then you will have access options. You will be able to download it if you want to. And then you will have all kinds of information about it, including the abstract and things of that nature. We're going to go ahead and click PDF. If I have the option, I always like to pick the PDF because I want to see photos and all that fun stuff. So this has the actual pages from the magazine. We can read the article here. Okay, read through it. And then this is the article that I'm gonna pick. Okay, I think this one looks interesting. So let's go back and get the, well, I don't even have to go back. I can click on this button right here that has the little quotation marks. And this button, if you hover over it, says cite. So I'm gonna pull this and I'm going to choose APA because that's what we're using. And you'll notice that it actually gives me the reference. Now, again, you can just give a link to this article this time around, but we're going to use the real citation since it's available and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to go to the template and I'm probably going to have to reshare. Yes, because mine's opening in Word. So let me reshare and have you be able to access both of those. There we go. Okay. So when you open the template, this is what it looks like. Everything is double spaced. Everything is in Times New Roman 12 point, so kind of a standard font, standard size. In the header, the only thing up there is a page number. And if you're using an older version of APA, there used to be a big long phrase over on the other side. If you are using something older, please stop using that and use this new version, because this has been in effect now for a few years, but I still see people who probably, downloaded a template a long time ago and have never updated it. So anyway, so that's all that goes in the header is the page number. You will have an essay title, and you always want to give your paper a title. I'm going to call this Unit 2 and AI, just because, it's good enough. Um, and then you'll have your first name and last name. And since I am wearing my Winnie the Pooh today, our sample student is going to be named Christopher Robin. Oops, except I can't spell it. English Department Post University, you don't have to change any of that. You do need to put your instructor's name in, which is Jackie Pierce. And you do need to put in the due date for the assignment, which is, what's Sunday's date? The 16th. Okay, my computer, there we go. So that'll be March 16th, oops, 2025. All right. Then we scroll down and we see that we put the title again at the top of page 2. So Unit 2 and AI. And then our paragraph is going to go right here. So this is where I'm going to write 6 or more sentences. So I'm going to actually make some periods here so that it looks like I've got sentences, even though I am not typing real words. Your paragraphs, if they are truly 6 really good sentences, will probably be at least this long. Okay, so I like to visually show kind of on the page what it might look like. The other part is to include the link. Now, again, this week, if you just put the link right here, nothing bad's going to happen to you, but we are eventually going to, and this needs to move back up. Okay, this should always be at the top of the first blank page. So I am going to insert a page break so that it doesn't move around. References, and then we've already copied it. So I'm going to highlight this and paste over it. I don't know why it's not giving me the whole thing. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to paste. Let me try it without doing it. Nope, I don't like that. Go back to home. I want paste and I want to choose match formatting. What that does is then give me the right text, font, and all that stuff. Now, the other thing though that it didn't do was keep what's called the hanging indent. So I'll show you how to do that. You click on the bottom of that little bottom triangle and drag it over to the 1/2 inch mark. This is what your reference page should always look like. And we are going to be using real references really throughout the rest of the course. So you may as well get used to doing it now. Now, do you have to use the library for this particular assignment? No, you do not. So let's go find a website that we might want to use and or a video. So I'm going to go to YouTube first because quite frankly, videos are more fun. So let's go to YouTube. And let's put in higher education and chat GPT. Tons of things. Okay. Really, literally tons of things. Um, let's just kind of pick one. Let's choose this one. It's 4 minutes and 48 seconds. So not terribly, terribly long. So let's pick this one. I don't really need to watch it, but let's look at how we would cite this. So in this particular case, when you hit the share, of course, it gives you the link. And we can copy that and we could paste it right into the document. So let me paste into the document. And if you do this time, nothing, it's fine. That's your link. However, I want to show you where you can go to get the real thing. So let's go to the website I mentioned earlier, scribber.com. And we will see the citation generator. So we'll click on this button. We're going to paste the URL right here, the web address, and we're going to click the cite button. Here is my citation. So all I have to do is copy this, and we're going to put it in the document the same way. I'm going to choose match formatting. Okay. And see, this time it did keep my hanging indent. So that's even better. Once you've established it, it should keep it. Let's look also for a plain website. Same process. Okay. So let's go to Google. And let's pick, well, this one's kind of interesting because it's a Grammarly it's Grammarly's website, but it's an article about AI. So let's choose this one. So we would read the article. Oh. Oh, we have to sign in. Okay. So we would read the article. Let me I actually have a full account on Grammarly, so I don't know why it's making me sign in, but this is how you could do it. Let's see, that's good. Hmm. Okay. I don't I don't really understand what's happening there. So I'm not going to use Grammarly. Let me go back to Google. By the way, one of the reasons I do this live in front of you, or live is a strong term, is because this is the process. So when you find that you're not finding what you want, don't get frustrated. Try something else. Okay. It's really part of learning, is learning how to continue looking for the information. So ChatGPT in higher ed. Let's take, here's an article from Inside Higher Ed. So that's probably a good one. It's from 2023. And we do have access to the article without any fuss and muss. So you would read the article, do your summary, all of that good stuff, and then let's get the citation. So this again, we could just paste in the citation and nothing bad is going to happen to us, but we're going to use Scribber and get the real citation. So we paste it here. And here is my citation. Now, what's interesting is the order that I have done these in has already put them in the right order for me. Bibliographies are always in what's called alphabetical order. So now this one also does a weird thing because of the way the lines are. So I'm going to put an extra space right here so that it doesn't do that. You can turn off the hyperlinks, and we would not need the two just links if we've got the real citations. So, but this is essentially what your, oh, I don't want to click it. I want to delete it. There we go. Okay. So these are already in alphabetical order. I did not do that on purpose. It's a happy accident. You will only have one item on your reference page. I'm going to leave these on here though, and give you this as a sample so that you can see and remember what it looks like. So I'm going to say, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to save as. Okay. Save. And then I will attach that document to your to the video here when I post it in the announcements. All right. One last thing. How do we turn it in? We're going to click on the link and we are going to upload a file. Do not create a submission. Upload the file. Browse your files. It should be the very first thing. Oh, I wonder though. Oh, shoot. It didn't go in here. Let me search for it. Okay, let me try unit 2. All right. If I had done it properly, it would have been the very first thing that came up. So I'm just going to attach this one. Double click on it, agree to submit it to the database, and click submit. That is how you turn in work for the formal writing assignments. And you'll be doing that about half of the units. So you are going to need to get used to doing this. It is going to be something that you're going to do over and over again. As I said, I'm happy to help you with it. We're going to go over it again tomorrow night in the workshop. So if you want to attend live, you'll get some extra help with it there. Otherwise, if you have questions about it, just let me know. All right. But I will put that sample document on the meeting announcement with this so that you do have access to it. That's it. That's it for this week. Okay. So I will see you next Monday, or hopefully tomorrow night, and have a great week too. See you soon.